Okay, so you're just back from the Masters in January over in China. Another great competition for you. So talk us through the actual event itself then. So who was playing, how many players, how was it set up?
Yeah, so obviously this year, I was lucky enough to win the Masters again after winning last year. It was the same format. There was 8 invited players, international invited players, and then there was 8 of the top Chinese players. The difference this year was the 8 Chinese players that played were hand selected as basically the best 8 Chinese players on the planet. The 8 invited players were who Joy thought would be the best at it, the best value for the tournament, etc. So the players were the 8 invited players were myself, Stephen Hendry, Darren Appleton, Chris Malin, Carl Boyes, Shane Van Bonin, and then there was Callie Fisher and another lady player called Vivian Villarreal, which is she's a good player from America. So that made up the 8 invites, and then obviously competed also with the 8 top Chinese players.
So in terms of the actual competition, how did it mix up? Because it's a real good mix of players, isn't it? To get people that are playing 9 balls, yourself.
Yeah.
It's a real mixture. So how did everybody get on?
Yeah, well, I think because of how the game is set up, it's played on a 9x5 table, really tight pockets. Like it looks, almost the same as a smaller snooker table, extremely tight pockets with the big balls. So I think it lends itself to everybody that plays cue sports, as in Stephen Hendry plays snooker, so he's quite good at it because it actually almost looks like a small snooker table. The top boys from America, the Shane Van Bonin and the Appleton, they're also good at it because they're used to playing obviously with the American balls, and obviously they've both come from 8-ball backgrounds anyway, so they're also really good at it. And then you've got the English pool players, or the pool players as we know from this country, that also it's just 8-ball at the end of the day. It's played 8-ball. Yeah, the rules are different, the tables are different. So I think everybody that plays cue sport, whether they be a snooker player, an American pool player, or an English pool player, thinks that they'd be able to play the game and thinks that they'd have something to offer. So I think having said that, it makes great viewing because you're not quite sure whether one of the American players is going to be really good at it, one of the snooker players like Hendry or Ken Doherty played last year, or whether one of the English players is going to be. So I think it lends itself to, from a spectator's point of view, it's a complete hybrid of all 3 games. So therefore anyone that's played any cue sports can sort of relate to it in some way.
You've got to think though that it definitely favours the Chinese, because that's what they play. Yeah. They're playing at home. Yeah. For all of the invited 8. Yeah. It's all got a difference to what they're used to playing, isn't it really? So there is a bit of a handicap for everybody that's visiting. Yeah,
without a doubt. And the 8 invited players are at a disadvantage because, like you say, they won't have played this game before. They might have used these balls, or they might have had the same pockets, or they play 8-ball, but like you say, the Chinese players, this is their game. 60 million Chinese players play Chinese 8-ball, and that's all they do. They don't play on a different table with different balls with different rules. They just play Chinese 8-ball. So obviously, the Chinese boys are very, very good at it.
So how did the draw kind of unfold in terms of who you got to play? Was there a double elimination?
It's double elimination. So there's 16 players, double elimination, and it was a complete open draw. But the first matches was the 8 international players played against the 8 Chinese players as the first match. Right. After the first matches, then it was just a complete open draw, double elimination. As I say, each match was 210 minutes, which is 3.5 hours.
So did you win all your games?
No, I didn't. It was actually exactly the same path as I took last year when I won. I won my first 2 matches. I beat one of the Chinese players the first match. Then I beat Shane Van Bonin in my second match. Then I actually lost my 3rd match to the guy who I actually ended up beating in the final, which obviously with me losing my 3rd match put me into the loser's side. And then I had to come around the loser's side. I ended up then playing Darren Appleton, which is in effectively the semi-finals for us two, which is like the losers final. Yeah. and then come back around after I beat Darren. I then played the Chinese lad who beat me in the earlier rounds in the final.
Right. Good. Well done. A very successful tournament again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So for more pool videos from Gareth Potts, please visit homeleisuredirect.com/pool.